The Chicago Bears have just been linked to a rare athlete from where in the draft he'll be available. I mean, I think this is just a rare opportunity when taking into account where he'll be available in the draft. Hey, everyone. Greetings from vacation in Florida. It's just beautiful here. And I just wanted to jump on and cover someone I think is a pretty rare get, and he's scheduled to visit Halas Hall. He's been labeled by many, including himself, the most fascinating offensive lineman in the draft. And according to Justin Mello at the Draft Network, the Bears have scheduled an upcoming top 30 visit with Yale offensive tackle Karan Amaji, and he's also meeting with the Cleveland Browns and the Commanders. And the Chicago Bears, they've started scheduling their top 30 visits heading into the 2024 NFL Draft, and the team's front office, they're just making sure they're turning over every rock, and by even doing some due diligence on this Ivy League standout. And now I've been profiling some guys I think would be great fits, just like I did on offensive lineman Bo Limmer out of Arkansas yesterday. But looking at what the Bears did last year, every single guy they drafted had come to Chicago for a team visit leading up to the draft. So I'm just going to adjust accordingly here. And any prospects profiled here will be gleaned from this confirmed team visit list. So we aren't just tossing darts. Agreed? So let's talk about Karan Amaji. He's actually a homegrown Illinois prospect. He played his high school ball in state at Hinsdale High School, so that's good. We could bring him home here. And I'm just going to let PFF tell us their assessment of him here. I'm going to go to the site gridironheroics.com here, and it's just a great source here for player profiles. So let me bring this up. So they're talking about the 2024 NFL draft offensive class is well documented as having potentially a dozen future starters, right? Joe Alt, Fashanu, JC Latham, Fuaga, Mims. They're all known commodities at the top. Others like Morgan, Guyton, Barton, Paul, they all factor in as well. But there's one early offensive tackle prospect who doesn't always get his due, being an FCS product, and that's Yale's Amaji. Amaji started every single game for Yale at right guard in 2021 before moving to left tackle and locking down the blind side in 2022. He reprised his role as left tackle in 2023, but he saw his season end prematurely, unfortunately. He suffered a torn quad in October. The hope was that Amaji would have been able to produce like more tape, right? But when he was on the field for Yale, absolutely dominant. He was first team all Ivy League in 2022, and he never allowed a sack at tackle. That's really good news. Amaji looked exactly the way you want an early round prospect to look at the FCS level. He was a tier above his opponents, and his physical profile, that should help him draw plenty of interest at the 2024 NFL draft. And that is from PFF. And I'm going to bring that down. So this guy, he really impressed the Bears during the NFL Combine, and he just completed his pro day yesterday. He's solidly on our radar, and that's confirmed, and it's looking like he might be the most fascinating offensive lineman in the draft. in for realness, his measurables are crazy. 6'5", 326 pounds, just a huge dude, and better yet, 36-inch arms and an 85.5-inch wingspan. I mean, just a crazy, huge offensive lineman. And at the Combine, Amaji, he made it perfectly clear that coming from an Ivy League school shouldn't be seen as a deterrent to his draft stock. He believes he's more than capable to match up with some of the top pass rushers in the NFL. He definitely does not lack confidence. I absolutely love that, and I'll just let you hear it from him. This is what he had to say. I played a lot of good players. Back at guard, I played Travis Jones, who plays for the Ravens. That was my first year, and it was a challenge. But, you know, I'm excited for the jump in competition. I'm excited to block Micah Parsons. I'm excited to block Myles Garrett. Wow, those are big names. I'm excited to block all these guys. I think a lot of people aren't going to be surprised what I can do against these guys coming from the Ivy League. I think I'm going to shock a lot of people. Okay, that's enough from him. Let's look at his in-season performance in a little more detail. So during the 2023 season, Amaji, he didn't allow a single sack, just one pressure in 128 pass blocking snaps in only 4 games. He suffered that injury in October. This is super unfortunate, but there's a silver lining for the Chicago Bears. Obviously, we're going Caleb with our number 1 pick. And first of all, I don't see Joe Alt dropping to us at number 9. I think we'd be smart to jump on Rome Odunze here if he's available. But I could also see us going defensive end here, right? So much can happen, but I believe it's unlikely an offensive lineman is the pick here. We could also trade down. A benefit to us is that this season for him, this last season, it was cut short. So his profile is a bit lower, and he should drop down to the 3rd round. I think that's going to happen. This is a perfect opportunity to get a blue chip guy at receiver or end and still get this offensive line need covered in a really nice way. Amaji, he showed what he can do in 2022. In 2022, he allowed 0 sacks, only 2 pressures on 301 pass blocking snaps. This is kind of a limited sample size. The lack of repetitions, it seems like a concern, but Amaji, he hopes to use it to his advantage, and this is more from him. I have a skill set that nobody else has in this whole type of class. The length, the athleticism, the power, the explosiveness. I told you he doesn't lack confidence. So I may be raw, but that may be my best attribute. I think somebody whose ceiling is extremely high. I think I have the highest ceiling in this entire draft class. Another great thing to look at, he has a positional versatility that Poles gravitates to. Just look at his free agency pickups this offseason. Incredible athleticism for a big man. And as many of you pointed out, the arm length thing, that just checks the final box. I would absolutely love for this guy to become a Bear. Amaji, he's set to enter the draft as an offensive tackle. He played 234 snaps in 2023, 661 snaps in 2022 at left tackle. However, in 2021, he also lined up at left guard for a total of 693 snaps. So after speaking at the combine, he shared that the interest in moving inside, it wasn't explored by other teams, but I believe the Bears are a bit different in that regard. It's widely expected he grades out as a left tackle, but Chicago, they're not afraid to slide him over to guard and also provide much needed competition for Braxton Jones as well at left tackle. Amaji, he was named two-time first team All-Pro. Let me start over. Amaji was also named to 2 first-team All-Pro teams as a player. He looks to model his game after at the position. He looks at these guys. The easy one is Trent Williams. Sorry, I garbled that. Vacation's hard. He just does everything on such a high level. He's the best tackle in the game, and to me, he's the best left tackle ever, and that's him revering Trent Williams as he really should. He also said, a guy who has a similar mindset to me is Ronnie Stanley. He plays similar to me, short torso, long legs, long arms, super athletic. So I like to watch a lot of his stuff. I just pick up techniques from him, and I see how he handles everything. It's easy to see why the Bears could be interested in drafting Amaji, right? One of our only 4 selections in the draft. So let's look at this too. Even if Jones, he beats out Amaji for the starting job, Amaji could also take the opportunity to learn behind him while also giving the Bears offensive line another absolutely critical depth piece on the roster. This guy is super motivated to make a name for himself too. He's coming from the Ivy League. His raw athletic ceiling, it makes him a prime target to consider investing in to see if he can develop into something really special. I think it's possible. We'll soon see what the Bears' thoughts are after they dig more into the research over the final month. He's going to come into Halas Hall for a top 30 visit, and I just think we only have 4 picks, so we have to make them all count. I think this is a perfect pivot, and we could still get a blue chip offensive line talent while still having our cake and eating it too at receiver, at defensive end. I just think we're in a super good spot, and it could give even more much needed protection for Caleb Williams when he comes into town. You guys like and subscribe. I would love that, but leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this player. And I'm going to look forward to the draft alongside you. Bear down, and we'll talk soon. See ya.